I've been itching to get back into Aliens Earth War. This is issue 3, and damn, this book's good. 3 and 4 are awesome. There, reviews over. Have a good day. Subscribe. I'm just kidding, but do subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I love this cover. It has that H.R. Giger feel to it, and it just gives you that seeing the catacombs of an alien hive, and just that drone sitting there with its mouth half cocked, just yeah, creepiness all around. Now, before we dive into this epic issue, this is Mark Verheiden writing, Sam Kieth doing the art, Pat Brousseau doing the lettering, Monica Livingston doing the colors, Diana Schultz editor, and John Bolton cover artist. The print date on issue 3 was September 19. Now, with issue 2, Hicks was reluctant to want to go to this alien Genesis world because he was afraid that they were pushing their luck too far. And he was like, we've gotten out of too many tight spots. There's only so much luck the universe can give us. However, as Ripley's planning to go and building the containment unit for the Queen alien mother, he kind of has a change of heart as he goes back and watches the footage from the Nostromo and sees Hudson and Vasquez and Diedrich and Apone and everyone. And it makes him say to Ripley at the end of issue 2, she's like, what changed your mind essentially? And she goes, is it just the dreams? And he goes, maybe it's just your dream of wanting how to stop the mother, that and my nightmares. And then they take off to the mother, Queen Alien Mother's Genesis planet. With the ship's gravity propelling us at hundreds of times the speeds of light, we were orbiting Ripley's dream within a matter of days. The closer we came, the more I felt the alien's presence. The more I knew it felt mine. Newt, we're almost ready. Are you all right? Tully, God, I don't know. I've been thinking about Earth. I never really considered it my home. I feel I've been adrift all these years, searching. It's the same for all of us. Me, Ripley, Hicks, the alien. It's funny. We see them as intruders on Earth, taking something precious away from us, but maybe we're the intruders, Tully. Maybe their search is over, and Earth was meant to be theirs all along. And it's just a nice little poignant moment where Newt is just kind of wondering if what they're doing is noble and true, and she's wondering if they're walking into a trap with the way the Queen Mother's been able to project dreams into humans, even though she's supposed to be talking to their children. But because she knows she can do it, Newt's wondering if they're walking into a trap. Now, again, this is why this should have been the sequel to Aliens 3 and not the abomination that we got. So we see these guys in these kind of like decked out suits. And Carvey, that's his name here, he goes, whose idea were the suits? Ripley. She convinced Captain McQuaid to cannibalize the platform power loaders and modify them for military duty. Says she's had experience with this sort of thing. Crunch. I guess she likes having an edge. Good. And that just sort of ties into what happened at the end of Aliens when she goes, get away from her, you bitch! And we see her use that power loader, which is, still holds up to this day. And of course, we didn't get that because Fox was just too stupid and decided to rush 9 million rewrites instead of looking at what Dark Horse had already done for them. And I'm going to get off my soapbox at that point. Now, we actually get a quiet moment with Ripley. She goes, I'm sorry, honey. Ripley, they're ready. Yeah, fine, be there in a minute. I hope they sectored the APC's comlink. Those low frequency jobs tend to scatter at the first sign. Jesus, Ripley, is this a picture of my daughter? It was taken a couple of weeks before I reported aboard the Nostromo. She was beautiful. Yeah, the psychs were concerned when I didn't show an overt emotional response to her death. But why should I? The old woman in their files was a stranger to me. I spent her whole life drifting through empty space, lost in years of perfect hibernation while she grew old and died. The aliens stole the time we should have had together. Sometimes I think those things have as much a right to survive as any of us. sometimes I wonder what gives us the arrogance to challenge their existence. And I love that while she's having this epiphany, we just see kind of thoughtful. As we get closer, we see determination. And then she says, then I look at my little girl and I know. That's great mixture of using narrative and visual storytelling to enhance a very emotional moment. And then we're on Hive World. And just look at this splash page. Oh my God, that is art in and of itself. And then just looking at scaling. So these alien pods compared to the APC. Maybe we haven't come to the aliens' world of our own accord. Maybe we've been sent. So we're kind of seeing Newt's thoughts process as we go through this. And one thing that I loved, this is another thing that Fox should have learned. Aliens 1 and 2 were Ripley's story. In all parts from Earth Hive, I think was what the first book was called, Nightmare Asylum, which dealt with the general, what's his name? I can never remember when I get in front of the cameras with you guys. General, I can't remember his name. But he's a mad general in the second series. And then we get to Earth War, Ripley returns. And through all three of these comic series, even though Ripley's in it and Hicks is in it, it's Newt's story, which really enhances the importance of her showing up in the Aliens film and seeing her point of view, how she felt abandoned when the Sulaco returned to Earth and she ended up in a mental institution for 15 years, and just the hatred that we see at the beginning of this Earth War comics. Oh, there's just so much compact into these comics. And the novelizations are great too, even though they've renamed the characters, which is all thanks to Alien 3. Anyway, gorgeous artwork. No digital painting. You can see where they actually had to use the ink stub, coloring, the cross-hatching, kind of that sort of Jack Kirby, heavy metal, Frank Frazetta feel to it. Gorgeous. And of course, Tully and I can never remember this guy's name. He's one of my favorite characters. He's like this badass, but I can never remember his name. Him and Tully are the two that took down the dude that forced Ripley back to LV-426 because he wanted to bring specimens back, and these two shot him down after the rest of their platoon died, and those two and Ripley disappeared for all the time that Newt was on Earth, and so he just kind of becomes this fan favorite. And I love that he gets loaded into the armor and he goes, I don't remember volunteering for this detail. Do you remember me volunteering for this detail? Who gives a shit? Just be careful out there. We've come too far to lose it all now. Hey, Tully, those things aren't interested in an ugly old bastard like me. They like them young. I just love characters like that where they're just like the salt of the earth type rugged dudes. So they're saying, let's go outside and have a look. And the suspense in the novelization is a little more intense. But again, the comics came out first. So I like that if you go and read the novelization, same thing with like Genocide, which is the next story after the Earth Wars. It expounds on Alexandra Lee and Grant and everybody. So it's just like you get this added behind the scenes type thing, like a director's cut, essentially. It's really cool. So look at how big these pods are compared to our heroes here. They go, what are these things? They're too large to be alien egg sacs. Whatever the hell, it's definitely organic. And it's oozing this translucent discharge like a son of a bitch. I can almost see inside. Now, again, I love that Verheiden added that little line about it oozing because that's what we come to find out when we go into Genocide about the royal jelly, essentially, that creates the xenozip. So it's just a great way for how the writers worked off one another. But we come to find out that those things are not, of course, facehugger sacs. They are essentially pods for the Queen's Praetorian guards. And again, it took I can't remember which Alien video game it was to finally introduce the Praetorian alien, which was like the kind of the king version of the alien where he's almost virtually unstoppable. And I'm glad they finally used him in the novelizations, but it was here where we first kind of see the Queen's. Okay, wait. We'll back up a little bit. We do see the Queen's guards and aliens, but they just kind of look like a fatter dude in a suit. Here, we get to see the intensity. Now, remember, they're wearing essentially power loader armor that the Queen alien had trouble getting to Ripley in. And he goes, "Fuck, Jesus, someone help me, get it off me!" And it rips. Well, I think we found him. We've got to get back to the APC if they. Dunstan. And then Newt says, as the Praetorian rips into his face. Where is it? Hold on. I can't find it. But Newt basically says how that this armor was supposed to be like the hardest metal that they could work with, and this thing just snaps through it like it's nothing, and it rips through the APC. So Falk gets back and he goes, all right, I'm here. Don't make me knock, for Christ's sake. Ugh, thanks for the shower. And then crunch, it rips through the APC, and his face is Falk. That's his name. I've been saying it, not even thinking about it. The look of horror on his face as he sees how strong they are. And Ripley just, they're her chosen. Few. You can tell I haven't had enough coffee today. Now everyone wants to dust off, and Ripley says, I didn't come this far to let her get away. We could be out there with Ripley. I wonder how long they've been waiting, how long they've ate for release, talking about the Praetorians. God, I can feel you all around me. Why don't you show yourself, thwack? Explain your worthless existence, what you did to the crew of the Nostromo, the soldiers from the Sulaco. Explain Earth. Explain Newt. And then we see her mount the pod. Explain my daughter. Guys, just think about what we could have gotten if this became film. And that's kind of what I was sort of hoping for. You know, Fox has essentially shit the bed on being able to bring Hicks and Newt and Ripley back together. But I was hoping that when they announced Alien Earth, that they were going to kind of go towards the Earth War with that planet crashing down to Earth and the specimens getting loose. But, of course, just like with every Alien film, oh, this is set between Aliens and Alien. This is set between Aliens and Alien 3. This is set between the time Ripley took a shit and they had dinner before the chest burster burst out of Kane. Stop. Just stop. It would just be so cool to finally see the Earth War get the respect. Even if they decide to say, you know what, screw it, the movies are lost. And someone did a fan like anime version. There wasn't, I posted it on the community post a while back, but someone did like an anime style Alien short film, and that thing was freaking exquisite. If they could get the rights to do that with the Earth War, oh, just think about it, guys. That would be amazing. So now that I'm done juicing, that's a word now, juicing, Queen Royal Jelly all over this comic. If you all have enjoyed what you see, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever there's like to get your action figures and comics, and grab this series. If you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate you taking a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little Xenomorph bell next subscribe, that was like contemporary content. You guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with you on hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure I leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.